Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TFC. My name is Robert Ryan from Tales from the Creek Entertainment, and if you're thinking that it's been a while since the last time we've spoken, you would not be mistaken in thinking that. There have been, let's just say, some health complications that have messed around with my voice a lot, that have kept me from putting out the regular podcasts that I've been hoping to put out. But I am happy to report that things are on the mend. Things are feeling a lot better around the offices of the TFC, which are of course located in scenic, beautiful downtown Moose Creek, Ontario. I'm also happy to report that we have survived yet another Friday the 13th, this being the second consecutive month where this mystical, magical date has appeared. And with that, that means that we are now 1 month removed from the end of the Ottawa International Film Festival 72-hour filmmakers competition. I am happy to report, for those of you who've not already read it elsewhere, or heard it elsewhere, that we placed 5th overall in the competition, which is amazing considering it's our first year of participating. I want to thank everyone involved for making that possible. The film is now up. For those of you who want to see the competition edit that I submitted, it's up on our website in the featured post, and I'll give the website address for those of you who don't have it a little bit later on. There's also going to be a little bit of a cleaned up, expanded director's cut, as it were, if you want to call it that, which is going to be made to kind of polish up the movie. It's a little rough in its competition form. We're just going to sort of polish it up and see how much we can make this material shine. So that's going to be coming out in the next little while. And we may or may not also be releasing a documentary featurette on the making of the movie and sort of the story behind it. So you will hear more about that in the coming days, weeks, and what have you. On to the news. We have a lot of things to catch up on. This is pretty much going to be a catch-up show until we get to our next episode. But there's a lot of things that are new and shiny and sparkly for each and every one of you, so let's get to it. The first thing with regards to the TFC, we have a brand new website at www.talesfromthecreek.ca. This is a website that has actually been up for about a week or so, and we've been updating it to kind of make sure that everything is there. And it's going to be a central hub for all of the TFC related activities. So Grand Bastardo, s.g.n.r photo, the TFC, the podcasts, etc. It's all going to be up on the website in some form or another at www.talesfromthecreek.ca. So that's where you would go if you want to watch the competition edit of our film for the OIFF 72. Now, as far as the TFC podcast goes, we're looking to put together something a little bit more professional, move it into something a little more regular. Definitely more regular than it's been so far, now that we're feeling a lot better. Looking to put it together so we're releasing new episodes on the 1st and the 15th of each month. Just sort of a state of the union to go over what we're up to, follow-ups on long-term projects, ideas, suggestions, emails that we receive from those of you who want to send us emails and suggestions and comments, questions, complaints, or what have you. So yeah, we're looking to put that on a 1st and 15th release schedule for all of you, so that way there's a bit of a regularity to things. In other news, also podcast related, our new podcast Over Under seems to be a hit with people. We've gotten a lot of views on the YouTube channel. We've also had a few downloads from the website. And that's one that we're looking also to put on a more regular schedule, hoping tentatively to put it on a 5th and 25th of the month release schedule to sort of stagger the podcast content from the TFC. The next episode, just to give a little bit of a teaser, we're going to be talking about one-hit wonders, but with a bit of a twist, and I'm not going to give away what that twist is, so tune in to the next episode of Over Under, presented by the TFC, and featuring Lee Jansen of InBeefWeTrust.com, thebrewclub.ca, and of course his YouTube channel related to video game collecting called Best at Losing. So check those out when you have a chance. For anyone who wants to leave suggestions of what types of shows we can do going forward, we do take requests like any good music station would. And you can send any requests for show ideas to overunder@talesfromthecreek.ca. That would be specifically for the show. I'll also give the TFC contact information later on in the show if you'd rather send it by Twitter or through the Facebook fan page. Still in the news and still on the topic of podcasts, we do have a brand new podcast that I've been talking about for a little while. That will be making a debut sometime soon. As of the recording of this episode of the TFC, the name and release schedule of this new podcast are still to be determined, so I don't have those details for you. What I can say is that the pilot episode will be recorded within the next 2 weeks. And it's going to be in an ASMR style, which was the style that was suggested to me to try out. It's probably not going to be something that purists would recognize, however. It's going to be in that style, but probably not strictly an ASMR podcast or videocast. So that's the information that I have on that, and of course more to come as we get closer to the release. Which, of course, brings us to our oldest podcast in the TFC family, Thoughts from My Car. Thoughts from My Car was originally intended to be the podcast for s.g.n.r Photo, but I've come to realize over the last little while that, well, it's not really feasible to have a photography-only podcast because, especially over the course of the winter, there's a lot less photography getting done in general. And I'm, with it being so long since there's been updates and everything to the whole s.g.n.r Photo webpage and what have you, I think what we're going to do is we're going to repurpose Thoughts from My Car. And yes, I know we've just finished rebooting it. We're going to do it again. This is going to be the Spider-Man of podcasts, apparently. We're going to turn this more into sort of a quick news flash, sort of a digest style of things. And it's going to be meant to supplement this podcast, the TFC. It's not going to be s.g.n.r Photo specific, but that's not to say that if photography related things do come up, that we're not going to go ahead and talk about them. Because it's set up as more of a supplement to the TFC, which of course is on a regular schedule, there's no real set release schedule for Thoughts from My Car. It's pretty much going to be recorded and released as things cross my mind that I want to share with all of you, but I don't want to wait until either the 1st or the 15th of the month to share things. It's things I kind of want to get off my chest or talk about more on a right-away scale. Little looser, little less sort of bullet point specific sort of thing. It's just going to be, okay, I saw this, I want to talk about it. There's 10 days before my podcast comes out. You know what? I want to talk about it right now. And that's the way it's going to be. Hopefully, it'll still come out in a somewhat regular fashion, but we're going to see how that goes. Moving away from the podcast, because it's been pretty podcast heavy so far, oddly enough. But into Grand Bastardo news, we also have a new website for the Grand Bastardo, which is www.grandbastardo.com. It is now a thing that you can visit for all things Grand Bastardo. We will have links to the videos of our latest episodes. And we're also going to be putting up cast bios and things like that in the near future. So bookmark that, go back for all of you Grand Bastardo fans. It's going to have a little bit more than what you would normally get just by following the YouTube channel. So I'm hoping to make all of that worth your while. Moving right along into new things that you can visit that are things in the real world, we have a patreon.com webpage. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Patreon, it's set up as sort of a monthly recurring donation thing to support people who make stuff. Sort of artists, and what have you. Think of it as a low-level, continuing, ongoing Indiegogo campaign that sort of never ends. Instead of raising a whole ton of money within 30 days to put out this one massive, huge project, it's just sort of a trickle of donations, of sort of money that can come in from people who want to help support us and help us develop and take things to the next level in terms of our production. Now, I want to stress that this is not meaning that this is going to turn into any kind of paid subscription. All of our content will continue to be free for everyone. I want to get the Tales from the Creek entertainment stuff out to as many people as possible, and turning it into a paid subscription is an immediate way to kill that off. Everything will continue to be free. Now, there will be maybe some bonus content, some exclusives for people who sign up. For example, people who contribute a little bit more will get a personal audio greeting from their choice of a TFC personality. So it could be just from myself as some guy named Rob, or it could be from Steve or the Grand Bastardo from the Grand Bastardo web series, etc., etc. And people who donate a little bit more may also find themselves being featured in an upcoming episode of the Grand Bastardo. So there's going to be little incentives for those people who are real fans, want to help us take it to the next level. For everyone else, if all you do is continue to like what we put out on the Facebook fan page or on Facebook, or you share it with your friends, or you talk about it, tweet about it, etc., we really appreciate that, and that is amazing of all of you to do that. And as far as I'm concerned, that is as much support as I could ever ask from someone. But if anyone wants to help us take it to the next level, the Patreon option is there. And for those of you who want to visit the page and check it out, it is patreon.com/the TFC. So Patreon, patreon.com/the TFC. In s.g.n.r. photo news, because it's been a long time for that as well, we're going to be reworking the Facebook fan page over the course of the rest of this month. So by the time you hear the next episode of the TFC, you should see some fairly substantial changes around the Facebook fan page. Also going to be doing some updates of the website at www.s.g.n.r.photo. That, once again, is www.s.g.n.r.photo. And it's going to be more of a refresh than a revamp, unless in the middle of my refresh I just decide, what the hell, let's totally redesign the site. But it's just to sort of refresh the content, add a bit more content, and make things a little more present, let's say. Give it a little more oomph, give it a little more pizzazz, and give people more of an idea of the type of stuff that we're doing in terms of photography. I want to thank all of you who managed to listen this far for these news updates. I promise future episodes of the TFC won't be quite so stiff and full of bullet points and things that I need to update and get across to everybody. And I promise it won't be about another 7 weeks before the next episode. We will be putting out a new episode on April the 1st for all of you. And for all of you who want to get in contact with us, you can certainly do so. If you want to email the TFC, you can reach us at inbox@talesfromthecreek.ca. We're also on Twitter at CreekTales. And of course, we have our Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/CreekTales. Creek Tales. And that's our show for today. I want to thank everyone once again for their patience and their indulgence as we get everything back up to speed and make sure that the episodes going forward have not only the news and content updates, but also are a little more entertaining for all of you. I'm hoping to add new features to this podcast as we go along, but of course, the housework had to be done first. We had to get things up to date and get everyone up to speed and get everyone on the same page and whatever other cliches that we want to drag out. But until next time, on behalf of the entire crew here at the TFC, I want to thank you again for tuning in. We'll talk to you April 1st.
The TFC is a production of Tales from the Greek Entertainment. It is written by Robert Ryan, who is also your host. For more from the TFC, visit www.talesfromthegreek.ca.